Let's go over step 2, which Clive called critical non-essentials. And I know when I first heard this, I thought, well, how can something be critical and be non-essential at the same time? And the first logical thing would come to your mind, well, it must be people. And the reason he called this a non-essential, because in the third step he gets into critical essentials, and obviously people are part of that. But what he was trying to get at in step 2, especially with rugby in relationship to the world's teams, is what did he have, or what could he create that nobody else had? So he got this woman from South Africa to work on what's called I Think, and they were doing literally gymnastics with their eyes to get better at their ability to perceive the outside world and react to it. He kept this under wraps, and he kept it really quiet. So you need to ask our coaches, what are the critical non-essentials that we have that our competition doesn't have? And some hints for you, it obviously would be the dominant selling idea of strength-based coaching, these 5 steps. The receptors, the ingredients that goes into the SRO model, the pyramid, winning by inches. These are all things that everybody else would like to have, but they're critical to us, and they're not essential for our success, but they certainly help. Lastly, in critical non-essentials is an instrument that we've developed, and we are now using it with Clive in the British Olympics and also with some of the Premiership team. It's called the Winning Profile. It's the first of its kind, taking 3 separate linear instruments and using them to come up with a triangulation of 3 different aspects of the person's human behavior to give us a psychological outline. No one else has it, no one else probably even knows about it other than those who are using it. Step 3, as I mentioned before, is called critical essentials. And this goes to the critical assets that you have that other people may have, but for you they're special. So certain people that we go through 2,600 applicants to come up with 300. People that are licensed. People who have a background in working with children. Critical Essentials is all about the book Good to Great. First who, then what. Good to Great talks about that great companies first get people off of what they call in the book the metaphor of an organization called a bus. And they get all the people off the bus who shouldn't be on it. And how do you know that? You take anyone that you've hired and you ask, would you hire them again if you had the opportunity? If the answer is no, they're gone. If you ask the question, if you had a chance to remove this person now and you could do it with no problem, would you do it? If the answer is yes, that person is off the bus. So the first step in critical essentials with people is picking the right people. People that will get on the bus and enjoy one another, have the same value system. So a question that you could be asking our coaches, what are our values? What type of values do they exhibit when they coach? What kind of values can you get from the kids if you ask them? So first who then what goes to not only picking the right people, getting them off the bus, getting the right people on it, but most importantly then going to talent and picking the right talented people to sit in the right seat of the bus. The theory goes that if you have the right people, put them in the right seats, you don't really care about where the bus is going to go because everybody's going to work hard to stay on it and make it work. Step 4 may seem very simple, but in many organizations where I've worked, including my own, it isn't. Step 4 is about having enjoyment, having fun, being around people that you like, being around people with the same common purpose, same beliefs. Clive developed a concept called energy sappers. These are people, good people, talented people, but they always have a way of finding a way to take the energy out of others. When he played in the World Cup, he said there were 5 athletes that were probably physically talented better than the team that started, but they weren't even on the team because he removed them earlier in the year because they were exactly that. They energy sapped others, which caused the team not to have the positive outlook that they were looking for. So enjoyment and having fun and like-minded. Step 5 of the 5 steps to winning behavior deals with the concept, again seeming simple, of no compromise. And I know from my own personal experience of running my company, living my own life, there are times that I have compromised, thinking, hoping that whatever I gave up on, it would get better in the long run. What Clive learned early on is that when they set rules, goals, key performance indicators, standards, whatever it might be, that anyone who broke the rules had to pay the penalty for them, and there was no compromise. There was no special favors given to anybody. So as you work with our coaches, you need to treat all of them as being special. You need to give them all opportunities to make choices and make them from good examples. But at some point you may be asked for this step to take place where there is no compromise. You broke the rule, you're a good lad, we believe that, but you're going home. So really think in your mind and get your coaches to think about what is it that they wouldn't compromise in a coaching session, in housing, with you, with each other, and get them to think those things through so that they have an opportunity with you to go back over the few rules that we have. For instance, our rules: no drinking and driving, no staying out past midnight, no using housing phones. These things are done and we find out about it. There will be no compromise. These people will be let go. So in conclusion, the 5 steps are really about taking simple ideas and putting them into practice.